Today is Saturday, which is March 2nd, and we've been follow politics with follow politics with the former President Trump, and a lot of people say they don't understand what's going on, politics over and over. And we always say, how much can this guy take? How much can he take? And it's like every day by day, something going on, day by day, something going on. And we know the whole world is, I always say that he got money and he have a lot of money. Why would he want to get himself on this situation? And the question is, nobody know. Nobody know why, but maybe he had a reason why he want to do it. I think somebody asked him, when a journalist asked him, he said because he loved it and he want to make the country better. That's his answer. He love it because he want to make the country better. But guy is sometimes I feel like it's confused. It's confused. We don't know what is this, what is this, what is going on, what is this, what is this. Sometimes it do confuse. But I'm trying to bring you guys a video to see what's going on in the world. And I want you guys to do me a favor. Guy, always like and share. Always like and share. Always like and share the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to me yet. Do that, guy. Do me that favor. It's up to me. A lot of people watch the video, but they never subscribe, they never share, they never like. Guy, I just try to make sure everybody know what's going on in the world. And I know a lot of you guys probably already know, but I'm take my time and bring the video to you so you would know what's going on in the world. Please help me subscribe, share, and like. Once again, please help me share and like. We're gonna go to the video. We're gonna listen to the former president. What's going on in the world? What happened? We're not going there. We're going all over the world. Africa, Philippines, Brazil, China, Russia, everywhere on the world. We're gonna find out what's going on. And if you look at them, guy, it's like the world is. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna go and see. I'm going to take you guys there. Let's listen to the former president.
It's like a record-setting crowd. We've never had an empty seat, and we certainly won't in Oklahoma.
He's right. There wasn't an empty seat. There were thousands of them.
In a candid exploration into the inner workings of former President Donald Trump's campaign machinery, his campaign director offers a rare glimpse into the underlying factors contributing to the unexpected downturns and flops experienced during their events. Is there internal sabotage making Trump's campaigns flop? Watch this video to find out.
It's weird because she comes from the Jack Kemp School of Politics. Her politics are not MAGA, which makes her extra dangerous to Donald Trump.
Trump's campaign flops. Susie Wiles, advisor to Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, recently urged Republican megadonors to ignore Trump's controversial comments and focus on his lead in the primary race. Wiles made this plea at a private gathering of the American Opportunity Alliance, a group of influential Republican donors. She acknowledged that Trump may say things that people don't like, but emphasized that he is the best candidate to defeat President Joe Biden in the general election. This message comes just days after Trump threatened donors to his primary rival, Nikki Haley, stating that anyone who donated to her would be permanently barred from the MAGA camp. Despite these divisive remarks, Wiles urged donors to look past them and support Trump's campaign. Her pitch seemed to resonate with some attendees, as aides were overheard asking for Wiles's contact information to potentially donate to Trump. This strategy of downplaying Trump's rhetoric echoes the approach taken by White House staff during his presidency, who often emphasized that his tweets did not represent official policies. While Wiles' message may have swayed some donors, it remains to to be seen how effective it will be in securing the financial support needed for Trump's campaign. While Donald Trump's campaign for re-election was marked by fervent rallies and a strong base of supporters, it was not without its financial challenges and controversies. From fundraising efforts to campaign spending, Trump's financial landscape was riddled with scrutiny and criticism. Throughout his campaign, Trump relied heavily on fundraising to support his re-election bid. However, his fundraising efforts faced significant obstacles. One of the key challenges was the perception that Trump was using his campaign as a means to enrich himself and his family. Critics argued that Trump's frequent visits to his own properties, such as Mar-a-Lago and Trump Tower, were a way to funnel campaign funds into his personal businesses. Additionally, Trump faced criticism for his reliance on high-dollar donors and wealthy individuals. His campaign was accused of catering to the interests of the wealthy elite, further fueling the perception that he was out of touch with the average American. Another controversy surrounding Trump's fundraising efforts was the use of technology and data collection. The Trump campaign employed tactics such as geofencing, a technology that allowed them to gather information about attendees at rallies and events. This raised concerns about privacy and the ethical implications of using personal data for political gain. Furthermore, Trump's campaign faced financial challenges as the election drew closer. Despite his claims of being a successful businessman, Trump's campaign struggled, wasted no time in launching his campaign for re-election. On June 18, 2019, he made his official announcement, setting the stage for what would become a highly contentious and controversial race. From the very beginning, Trump's campaign was marked by a sense of urgency and determination. Having spent money on his re-election effort shortly after his election in 2016, Trump was eager to secure another term in office. He knew that he needed to rally his base and win over new supporters if he wanted to secure victory. One of the key strategies employed by Trump's campaign was the organization of numerous rallies and fundraisers. These events served as platforms for Trump to connect with his supporters, energize his base, and spread his message to the masses. He crisscrossed the country, visiting key electoral states and holding rallies in packed arenas where his supporters eagerly awaited his arrival. But despite the initial enthusiasm and large crowds, Trump's campaign faced its first major flop in July 2017. During a speech at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, Trump delivered a divisive address that left many questioning his leadership and ability to unite the country. The event, which was meant to honor veterans, quickly turned into a platform for Trump to air his grievances and attack his political adversaries. In the same month, Trump attended a GOP fundraiser where his daughter Ivanka Trump introduced Vice President Mike Pence. While the event was intended to showcase unity within the Republican Party, it only served to highlight the growing divisions and tensions within Trump's inner circle. By December 2017, polls showed that more than 40% of Americans wanted Trump impeached, a clear indication of the growing dissatisfaction with his presidency. Despite these challenges, Trump remained undeterred and continued to push forward with his campaign. In February 2018, Trump made a significant move by appointing Brad Parscale as his 2020 campaign manager. Parscale, a digital marketing strategist, was tasked with revamping the campaign's online presence and leveraging technology to reach a wider audience. This move signaled Trump's recognition of the importance of digital campaigning in the modern political landscape. In March 2018, Trump held a rally in Pennsylvania, a swing state crucial to his re-election bid. The rally was met with mixed reactions, with some praising Trump's ability to connect with his supporters, while others criticized his divisive rhetoric and lack of substantive policy proposals. In April 2018, Trump made headlines by skipping the White House Correspondents' Dinner, a traditional event that brings together journalists and politicians. Instead, he held a rally in Michigan, once again prioritizing direct engagement with his supporters over engaging with the media. Keep America Great. This slogan aimed to capitalize on the successes of his presidency and project a sense of optimism and confidence in his ability to lead the nation. As the summer of 2018 approached, Trump showed no signs of slowing down. He held rallies in Minnesota and Nevada, further solidifying his presence in key battleground states. These rallies were marked by Trump's characteristic style of speaking directly to his supporters, often veering off script and delivering impromptu remarks that both entertained and shocked his audience. In October 2018, Trump made a defining statement during a rally in Houston, where he declared himself a nationalist. This declaration sent shockwaves through the political landscape, with critics accusing Trump of promoting divisive and exclusionary ideologies. As the midterm elections drew near in November 2018, the Trump campaign financed rallies in support of Republican candidates. These rallies aimed to boost the chances of Republican candidates and maintain control of Congress, a crucial factor in Trump's ability to implement his agenda. In December 2018, the campaign merged its field operations with the Republican National Committee, a move aimed at streamlining efforts and maximizing resources. This merger signaled a unified front within the Republican Party and a commitment to securing Trump's re-election. election. By January 2019, the Republican National Committee informally endorsed Trump's campaign, solidifying his position as the party's candidate. Efforts were also made to oppose any potential challenges from within the Republican Party, ensuring that Trump would face minimal opposition in the primary race. In June 2019, Trump launched his re-election campaign in Florida, a state crucial to his electoral success. However, his campaign kickoff was marred by allegations of rape from writer E. Jean Carroll, who accused Trump of assaulting her in the 1990s. These allegations further fueled the controversy surrounding Trump's presidency and cast a shadow over his re-election bid. In September 2019, Trump faced an impeachment inquiry, a significant blow to his campaign. He responded by launching a $10 million campaign against Joe Biden, his potential Democratic rival. This campaign aimed to discredit Biden and undermine his chances of securing the Democratic nomination. In October 2019, Trump held a rally in Michigan, a state he narrowly won in the 2016 election. However, his rally was overshadowed by lawsuits regarding his business dealings, further tarnishing his image and raising questions about his ethics. In January 2020, the impeachment trial against Trump began, dominating the news cycle and diverting attention away from his campaign. Despite this distraction, Trump continued to hold campaign rallies in Ohio, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Iowa, hoping to energize his base and maintain momentum. In February 2020, Trump won the Kansas State Convention, solidifying his position as the Republican Party's candidate. He also received overwhelming support in the Iowa caucuses and New Hampshire primary, further bolstering his chances of securing the nomination. As Super Tuesday arrived in March 2020, the race for the nomination.
I said that before. It's like it's a lot of things going on in this guy's life. And then if I was him, and me, that's me, it's not him. If I was him, I have all money and I can live large, and my age is like about 70 something plus. Come on, I would not let people humiliate me like that. I would not let people go after me so much stress. Why would you want to take all the stress for? Why? You already president runs. You got 4 years term as a president of the United States. You're a businessman. You got money and everything. Why would I waste my time and I can enjoy my time with family? Guy, please. Once again, share, like, subscribe to my video. Guy, please help me. And it's a lot of you can watch the video. Guy, do a full support. Be honest. Share, like, and subscribe. So we're gonna bring you more. We're gonna go all over the world, see what's going on in the world, guys. Let's go. Let's listen to it.
Of inciting mayhem and moving the country toward totalitarianism. His remarks further deepened the political divide and raised concerns about his commitment to unity.
This solar system cost $20,000.
September was marked by frequent interruptions from Trump, creating a chaotic and contentious atmosphere. This further fueled the perception that Trump's campaign was faltering and struggling to maintain control. In October, Trump faced a copyright infringement lawsuit for using musician Eddie Grant's song without permission in a campaign video. This legal challenge added to the growing list of controversies surrounding Trump's campaign and raised questions about his campaign's adherence to ethical standards. To make matters worse, Trump and the First Lady tested positive for COVID-19 in October, leading to the cancellation of in-person campaign events. This setback further disrupted the campaign's momentum and forced Trump to adapt to a new virtual campaign format. Despite these challenges and controversies, Trump remained defiant and refused to concede even after news organizations projected Joe Biden as the winner of the election. The campaign spent significant funds on legal and compliance work, advertisements, and Trump-owned properties, but ultimately failed to secure victory. But there's one particular Trump controversy that had Susie Wiles written all over it.
ABC News first reported that
the people making sure that they don't go out of their right mind if something like that happens. Because I know what I'm thinking of could happen if that, for example, they do say Jack Smith says, okay, I'm going to put Donald Trump in jail.
I think it's a very dangerous thing to even talk about, because we do have a tremendously passionate group of voters, and I mean, maybe 100, 150. I've never seen anything like it. Much more passion than they had in 2020, and much more passion than they had in 2016. I think it would be very dangerous.
Joe, much more passion than they had in 2020, implying it could be even worse than you saw around the 2020 election. Obviously, just appallingly dangerous stuff to say, given the recent history in this country. And also, as you pointed out earlier, very stupid, as he perhaps comes under indictment here for the events around the
company. And on this third party ballot, we're all thinking it's going to hurt Joe Biden, it's going to hurt Joe Biden, people that are with Donald Trump. It doesn't look that way here. It doesn't look this way in some other polls. It looks like people are saying,
President Donald J. Trump was.
Love him or hate him.
Hey everyone, this is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump.
Love him or hate him, Donald Trump is undoubtedly one of the most controversial figures in modern American politics. During his presidency, he managed to attract a lot of attention, but not all of it was positive. One of the things that has been widely discussed is the staggering amount of money he spent on legal fees throughout his time in office. So watch until the very end, because in this video, we'll look at how much Trump lost in legal fees and the big lawsuits that cost him millions.
An executive order temporarily suspending immigration.
In the fall of 2022, the Attorney General of New York State filed this civil complaint, saying that Trump and his corporation had illegally misreported the prices of their properties on their financial records. As a result, they were able to reduce their tax obligations and enhance the terms of their loans, all while increasing Trump's apparent net worth. After the trial, which took place in January 2023, Justice Arthur Engoron ruled that Trump had clearly committed fraud, so eliminating the necessity for any additional trial processes. Trump has been forced to pay a punishment of $15,000 by Engoron for violating a gag order. Midway through February of 2023, a final decision is anticipated about damages, as well as whether or not Trump's company will be subject to business restrictions or property seizures in the state of New York. This particular lawsuit is considered to be less serious than other cases because it is a civil action rather than a criminal prosecution. 2 Manhattan defamation cases with sexual assault allegations. Again, this is allegations, okay? So in 2019, the author E. Jean Carroll made allegations that Donald Trump sexually attacked
Room now. And let's pause to listen to Jack Smith as he addresses reporters.
Good evening. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding. The indictment was issued by a grand jury of citizens, and it sets forth the crimes charged in detail. I encourage everyone to read it in full. The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election. The men and women of law enforcement who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6th are heroes. They are patriots and they are the very best of us. They did not just defend a building or the people sheltering in it. They put their lives on the line to defend who we are as a country and as a people. They defended the very institutions and principles that define the United States. Since the attack on our Capitol, the Department of Justice has remained committed to ensuring accountability for those criminally responsible for what happened that day. This case is brought consistent with that commitment, and our investigation of other individuals continues. In this case, my office will seek a speedy trial so that our evidence can be tested in court and judged by a jury of citizens. In the meantime, I must emphasize that the indictment is only an allegation and that the defendant must be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. I would like to thank the members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation who are working on this investigation with my office, as well as the many career prosecutors and law enforcement agents from around the country who have worked on previous January 6th investigations. These women and men are public servants of the very highest order, and it is a privilege to work alongside them. Thank you.
Why didn't you charge any of the other co-conspirators?
And there we have Special Prosecutor Jack Smith saying this is an unprecedented act, an attack on the bedrock function of democracy. He was typically laconic. Bob Costa.
One thing to note that the special counsel did not is former Vice President Mike Pence, based on this document, is a central, crucial, key witness in this investigation. This indictment says Pence took contemporaneous notes, and date after date of Pence's recollection of events is there. We know Pence met for hours with the grand jury, but to have a former vice president who was in the room with Trump, often one-on-one, in the Oval Office, and now testifying in detail to the special counsel, he could end up being the most important witness in this case.
Because do you think, Bob, it's not just X happened after Y, but he has some ability to speak to what was inside the former president's
And he can
head.
speak to possible criminal intent. Now, Pence has said publicly he does not know.
Yes, I'm yes, that's exactly what I mean. And for you and I, we're not a politician. We don't know what's going on. It's something to me. Politics is I don't know, and I don't see all this thing. But when I look at him, guy, and it is seriously. It's not a joke. It is seriously. And what the special counsel just said, Jack Smith just said, and then I think most Americans is agree that the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, the democracy in the world was attacked, and a lot of countries in the world was saying they condemned to it and everything like that. And to me, and we don't know what's going on, but I think this is not a joke. I think this is really seriously, guys. So therefore, I brought it to you. Listen to it. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody.
They were doing it because it's election interference. And then I got indicted a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against. It's been pretty amazing. I'm being indicted for you, the American people. I'm being indicted for you, the black population. The mugshot, we've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts and they sell them for $19 a piece. It's pretty amazing. Millions, by the way, millions of these things have been sold.
Yeah, so, Rev, yeah.
My God.
Curious, Rev. I don't know. I mean, I suppose we could do a poll of black Americans and ask whether they are more likely to support somebody because they stole nuclear secrets from the White House, they stole secret war plans against Iran, they lied to the FBI about having those nuclear secrets and secret war plans, lied to the FBI and the Justice Department about having classified documents hidden in their beachfront resort. I mean, maybe black Americans relate to that. I don't know. I wouldn't think they would. Do they relate to Trump telling his IT director to destroy all the evidence? And now the IT director testifying against him, or to maintenance people to flood the room where the IT department is to destroy all. I just don't know. boy, it does seem like a stretch, doesn't it, Rev, to think that Donald Trump doing all of that and illegally paying off a porn star, according to the Manhattan DA, and trying to foment a riot on January the 6th. I'm not so sure, Rev. Help me understand. Why would Black Americans relate to Donald Trump there? I don't understand the connection.
Well, first of all, let's be clear. Donald Trump is using the stereotype of blacks being criminals, and therefore we would gravitate towards somebody in a mugshot. He's in a mugshot for trying to interfere with an election. Blacks were arrested to get the right to vote. That's what the marches were about. It is the epitome of an insult also when you think of the fact that it is a black man that is prosecuting him in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, a black woman in Georgia, a black woman, the New York State Attorney General Letitia James. So he's saying that black people would relate to someone indicted for trying to undermine the elections by blacks, but we would go with him rather than them. The other part of this that is so amazing is Donald Trump himself has been part of these kinds of unfair prosecutions of blacks. It was he that took out ads in newspapers calling for the death penalty of 5 young black and brown boys of raping a white woman in Central Park who went to jail falsely. It was later proven they didn't do it because of DNA. Donald Trump said no, punish them anyway. So all of a sudden, I've been in this movement for 40, 50 years. I've never seen him stand up for blacks that were treated wrong by the criminal justice system. But now he's a symbol of being persecuted. He's being persecuted by black prosecutors, a black woman judge in the federal court in Washington, D.C., and any shameless blacks that are standing there applauding him needs to check the facts.
Well, and Mika, he is also making racist comments against Letitia James, against Fonnie Willis, against those prosecutors that happen to be people of color, just because they're black. I guess he didn't, maybe they didn't fit that into his speech.
Listen, first it was Navalny, and now it's the African-American community. These comparisons are sick and grotesque. Biden-Harris campaign co-chair, former Congressman Cedric Richmond, responded in a statement, quote, Donald Trump claiming that black Americans will support him because of his criminal charges is insulting, it's moronic, and it's just plain racist. He thinks black voters are so uninformed that we won't see through his shameless pandering. He has another thing coming. So John Heilman, then there's Tim Scott. I don't know. It's very, on the Republican side, the Trump acolytes, those that just stay with him through anything, it's beyond hard to watch. How do you think the overall black community will respond to this? Remember his comments the first time around. What do you have to lose?
I mean, honestly, Mika, I don't think most black voters are paying attention to the race at this point, and I don't think they're going to respond to this in particular in any way. But I would say that if you think about, the things that people talk about as being correctly, think about what are the concerns that the Biden campaign has going into a general election against Donald Trump. It's not so much these head-to-head polls; it's that they've
and sometimes I think people is thus confused in politics, or maybe they did not pay that much attention with politics. And they just say bravo for anything. They just upload anything. They don't even know what's going on, what's the contest, what is going on. They just say yes to it. I love him, I love them, I love this, I love this. No, in politics, you need to think, watch, pay close attention what the politicians say, what the diplomacy is going to say. Because they never give you the whole result. They never give you the truth. They always say, They always a maybe. They always a may. They always a but. They always would be. They always something. So don't say bravo for what you don't understand. Don't say you like me because I brought the video to you. You don't even know who am I. Guy, I'm trying to do my best to bring you everything I could. But please support the video. Share, like, and subscribe.
Black worker is a great worker. You've done an incredible job. You know Cary Grant, he was this very handsome guy. I'm going to put it more in this. Sidney Poitier, I thought he was very handsome, right? Do we give it to Barry Bonds or Babe Ruth? Huh? Barry? Okay, I'm with Barry. Hey, especially tonight, I'm with Barry. She goes on, and Laura. And I want to thank Eric and Laura for doing such a fantastic job. And
yes.
really,
Whoever you are, wherever you are, thank you. He's still learning to tie his shoes. Loop the loop, I tell him, Eric. That's right. You're welcome. The traditional molestation. That's right. You're welcome. The traditional molestation of the flag.
1 years old. He's overseen 2 wars. His approval ratings are at an all-time low. And even though he may not have any competition, it's not like he's popular. Take Michigan, for example. Biden won there, but it wasn't a clean sweep. More than 100,000 people voted uncommitted. 1 lakh people said they were uncommitted, meaning they're not too sure about Biden. But do you know who they're sure about? Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States. The Democrats apparently love her, and a latest poll proved just that. Democrats were asked about who could replace Biden. 20% chose Michelle Obama, 15% chose Kamala Harris, and 12% believe it should be Hillary Clinton. So the Democrats want a shake-up. But their popular choice is not someone in the system, it's an outsider, in this case Michelle Obama. The question then is, why does America love her? And can she shake up the Democratic ballot? Michelle Obama has always been popular. She came into the limelight in 2008. That's when her husband Barack Obama started campaigning. The couple was loved on the campaign trail. Once Obama became president, the appeal only grew. Their stint in the White House was quite popular, and Michelle wasn't just any other first lady. She did not live in the shadows of her husband. She held her own. Perhaps that appealed to a lot of people. She spearheaded campaigns, advocated for military families, and encouraged healthy eating. People saw her as authentic, and it added to her appeal. Michelle Obama had one of the highest acceptance rates among all U.S. First Ladies. In 2017, the Obamas left the White House, and since then, Michelle has come into her own. She wrote a book. She signed a Netflix deal. She hosted a popular podcast. She graced magazine covers.
Justices might be thinking. As you said, it took 4 votes to grant the case, but that doesn't mean that any of those 4 justices have any intention of reversing the Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia judgment. We just don't know. At most, we can infer that at least 4 justices believe that it was important that the Supreme Court of the United States decide this case.
Judge Ludwig, let's go back to the math for a second. 51 days before they hear it. Then, as you said, possibly the end of June. Let's call it July 1st, just for argument's sake. Then, if Judge Chutkan is permitted to move on with this case, there are 88 days that the defense has before this can go to trial. Let's start with climate change. If Donald Trump is president again, he will roll back any of the progress made by the Biden administration. He's made it clear he plans to, quote, drill baby drill on his first day in office. On the campaign trail, Trump has identified boosting oil and gas output as his main priority. Trump's advisors and allies have said that the clean initiatives in Biden's crowning achievement, let's start with climate change. If Donald Trump is
from all over the world into American communities to prey on people.
Wow, to prey on our people. Autocrats throughout history have relied on dehumanizing and othering marginalized groups, thereby creating a strict dichotomy of us.
That means say United States live prayer.
Take
That's
for one
what he said.
example, the propaganda campaign that predated the Rwandan genocide in the mid-90s.
Also known as the Insurrection Clause,
County, Illinois, on Wednesday ruled that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, also known as the Insurrection Clause, bars former President Donald Trump from the 2024 Republican primary ballot. The order overrules a January determination from the Illinois State Board of Elections that Trump could remain eligible. Cook County Circuit Judge Tracy Porter placed an immediate stay on her decision until Friday, in anticipation of an appeal to the Illinois Appellate Court First District or the Illinois Supreme Court. A Trump spokesman responded in a statement, calling Porter's ruling unconstitutional and adding, "We will quickly appeal." Free Speech for People, a watchdog group helping to represent the group of voters who brought the 14th Amendment challenge in Illinois, billed the decision as a historic victory. Porter's ruling is the latest in a string of conflicting decisions around the country about Trump's eligibility under the 14th Amendment. The dispute is expected to be settled by the U.S. Supreme Court. Supporters of the disqualification push argue Trump's conduct after he lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden, including his actions related to John 6, should make him ineligible to hold office again. Trump denies all wrongdoing and has called the 14th Amendment challenges anti-democratic. During more than 2 hours of oral argument before the Supreme Court early this month in the historic case Trump v. Anderson, each of the 9 justices expressed skepticism that an individual state has the authority to deny a candidate for federal office access to the ballot as an insurrectionist. Porter noted on Wednesday that her order is stayed if the Supreme Court rules inconsistent with her decision.
This is how you can use your YouTube account?
Sooner than we anticipated. It was an even bigger win than we anticipated. And I was just informed that we got double the number of votes that has ever been received in the great state of South Carolina.
Trump won the Republican primary in South Carolina, meaning Republican voters in this state want Donald Trump to be their presidential nominee. Why is this important? Because this is the home state of Nikki Haley. So this story is not so much about Donald Trump's win as about Nikki Haley's loss. She has lost her home state, and she's the only one challenging Trump in the Republican camp, the only other contender in this race. Or is she? Did she ever have a real chance? I ask because the margins tell a story. Trump won by a lead of 20 points. And this is his 4th consecutive victory. He got almost 60% of the vote in South Carolina. Nikki Haley got about 40%. And it's this vote bank that she's still counting on. She hopes to build on it and to make a comeback.
I said earlier this week that no matter what happens in South Carolina, I would continue to run for president. I'm a woman of my word.
Now, it's good to be optimistic.
He's abusive, a fearmongerer, he's a criminal.
Water off the Don's back.
I only want to be a dictator for one day.
Scandal after scandal.
This is a man who's facing 91 criminal charges. So it's a bunch of baloney.
But it's only making Trump
Rockstar superhero president
even more triumphant.
He's a cult leader. He does want to make himself into a king.
You have to wonder if, politically at least, Donald Trump is indestructible. The former president is currently facing 4 criminal trials. There are none.
Able to. Anyway, okay. Hang on. Sorry. Oh.
Dr. Charles Adele, as Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump was totally unpredictable on the world stage, making friends with dictators and ostracizing allies.
We know that over the last couple of years, we've seen not only democracies kind of retreating, but
If you look at Arizona, they haven't done anything. Their governor hasn't done a thing, and the governor of California hasn't done a thing. People are flowing through there like nothing, but Texas is very secure, and it's going to be even more secure by the time you finish, which will be soon. And I just want to thank some friends of mine. Brandon Judd has been a friend from day one. He knew what we were all about and knew what we were saying and doing, and I think we were ahead of our time. And General Thomas Sulzer was somebody that was always right there and understands this Texas military department about as well as you could have. I think he understands war, because that's what you're in. You're in a war. And
or when Title 42 was lifted, there were thousands of people coming across the border. Now there is on average about 14 people crossing the border in that area. And that's because the Texas National Guard has wired it shut. Because we are having to do so much to secure our border, that's exactly why 5 miles south of here, Texas has now launched its own Texas National Guard military base that will house 2,300 Texas National Guard. So they will be able to more swiftly and more effectively continue the laws that already...
Wells Fargo just warned
everybody. I want to thank the governor and the entire group of people behind me, and I would call them staff, and I would call them representatives in general. South America, it's all over the world. The Congo, a very big population coming in from jails from the Congo. You look at the jails now, you take a look at the jails throughout the region, but more importantly throughout the world. They're emptying out because they're dumping them into the United States, and these guys try and make like, oh, isn't it wonderful? They don't have a clue. I think they're looking for votes. They're looking for something. Nobody's really been able to tell me how anybody wanted. You know, you're always in business. You always want to understand the other side. You want to figure it out so you can do something that's good or bad, depending on what you're looking for. But nobody can explain to me, because everybody I speak to says how horrible it is. Nobody can explain to me how allowing millions of people from places unknown, from countries unknown, who don't speak languages. We have languages coming into our country. We have nobody that even speaks those languages. They're truly foreign languages. Nobody speaks them. And they're pouring into our country, and they're bringing with them tremendous problems, including medical problems. As you know, we had Title II, and we had different things to solve that problem, but they've terminated all of that. Even the judge couldn't believe it. The judge said, no, you can't do that. It would be horrible to do that. And he let it go. But he said in 6 months it expires, and it expired, and that's it. So I just think you're doing an incredible job. Just 1 week ago, a beautiful 22-year-old nursing student from Georgia was barbarically attacked, almost unrecognizable, while she was out on her morning run. She was a morning run. She was doing keep herself in shape. She was a beautiful young woman. She was a great person, best nursing student there was. I spoke to her parents yesterday. They're incredible people. They're devastated beyond belief. But she was beautiful, just so beautiful in so many ways, and brutally assaulted, horrifically beaten, kidnapped, and savagely murdered. The monster that charged in the death is an illegal alien migrant who was led into our country and released into our communities by crooked Joe Biden. He's crooked. I took the name away from Hillary because she's no longer relevant, I guess. She was terrible, but what he is doing is just unbelievable. Joe Biden will never say Laken Riley's name, but we will say it, and we will remember it. We're not going to forget her. It's been just a horrible story that we've had to live with for the last few days. It's hard to believe, and her parents are just, they can never be the same. Great people. Just 4 days ago, an illegal alien in Louisiana was arrested for brutally raping a 14-year-old girl while holding a knife to her throat. And he then allegedly robbed a man who was getting out of his car in front of his home and repeatedly stabbed him in the face and the back, in the face many, many times, before police found this person standing in the middle of a street, all covered with blood, standing over the blood of the man he was attacking. Last year, a sadistic illegal alien criminal who was released into our country by Joe Biden was arrested for raping an 11-year-old girl and strangling her to death in Pasadena, Texas. And shortly before she was murdered, she texted her father that someone was knocking at the door. He arrived home from work and found his daughter's body stuffed in a laundry basket underneath the bed. Horrible. Crooked Joe is the blood of countless innocent victims. It's so many stories to tell, so many horrible stories. 3 years ago, we had the most secure border in history. Brandon was saying it, the general was saying it. We had the most secure border, and people weren't coming because they knew they weren't going to get in. And we weren't promising free education, free medical, free everything. I mean, all the promises that are made, no wonder they come. I mean, you look at what this governor, Newscomb from California, isn't that his name, Newscomb? What he's done to California is unbelievable. People are pouring in. They think they're going to get medical aid. And our soldiers, our vets aren't being taken care of. But people that come into our country illegally are. We ended catch and release. We built 571 miles of border wall, much more than I promised I'd build. And in addition, we purchased another 200 miles. And they sold that, much of it for 5 cents on the dollar. And it's the best wall, the same wall that you're using, because the governor's now building a lot of wall also. And it works. Walls work. Walls and wheels, I always said. It's one thing never gets obsolete. A wall and a wheel. Everything else is obsolete about 2 weeks after you come up with it. And we got Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers to take care of our border. We had the safest border in the history of our country. And now, outside of this area where Texas has done an amazing job, and in a pretty short period of time, they're going to have it all covered. They have just been incredible. The operation that they showed me is nothing less than incredible. And I'll say this, it's a military operation. I mean, we have this is like a war. It's a military operation. So we had remain in Mexico. Remember that? You can't come into our country, and Mexico agreed to it. And I'll tell you someday, I'll tell you why. Safe third agreements, asylum bans, Title 42, and rapid removals. But Title 42 was so important, rapid removal so important. But the best was remain in Mexico. You stay in Mexico. We had catch and release in Mexico. We had catch before that. It was catch and release a criminal, and they released him in the United States. We had no more catch and release. Our catch and release was we released them in Mexico. And if you broke the law, we caught you, we deported you, or we did something else. But we were doing a great job, and that's where it stood. And then we had an election that we ended up getting many millions of more votes than we did. We did much better in 2020 than we ever even thought about doing in 2016. And very bad things happened. And from that moment on, it was a whole different ballgame in Texas and all over. But the governor in Texas picked up the ball, and they've done an incredible job. And I'll tell you, it's an honor to be here. I brought some people here, some executives from New York, because they're marveling at it too. And you're doing your job. Now we have to find out what's going on the side, each side, because Arizona's not doing their job. You have a Democrat, liberal, or more than that, governor that probably doesn't want to do anything. So people are just pouring in through Arizona, and they're pouring in through
declare an invasion, and for Texas to defend ourselves from the crimes that are being caused by Joe Biden. Very quickly, here's what Texas is doing. Texas is the only state in the history of America to build our own border wall. And we did not reinvent the wheel. We're just building the very same wall that President Trump put up. Second, we deployed those big orange buoys into the Rio Grande that are effective at denying illegal entry. And Joe Biden found it.
The governor was there, and then he really stepped it up. It's been amazing. I came when I was lucky enough to receive his endorsement. I endorsed him also, and very proudly endorsed him. And a lot of things have happened.
And border legislation.
And literally join him.
Right. And what we saw there is the fact that Biden understands that Republicans in Washington are taking cues from former President Trump. I think the likelihood of Trump heeding that call is unlikely. We know that he wants to be able to run on immigration as an issue that is central to his campaign. And that's why in his remarks, we saw him lean into blaming Biden for the situation at the border. And I also think what we need to do is call out what he said when he was talking about.
Perhaps inspired by his cataloged obsession with strong men on the world stage, people like Vladimir Putin, has been open and public about his desire to use American government institutions to target his political enemies. As you heard, he idolizes, in a, quote, creepy way, Vladimir Putin. Putin, for his part, today suggested in a speech that the West faces the prospect of nuclear war now, should it continue to support or intervene more directly in Ukraine. And the New York Times is today reporting that Donald Trump plans to meet privately with Hungarian Prime Minister, another man he has a creepy affection for, Viktor Orban, a right-wing nationalist, at his club Mar-a-Lago next week. These developments taken together bring into even sharper focus this afternoon that with U.S. institutions passing the buck now to the American voter, it is on us to choose the path forward for America, democracy or autocracy. Joining our conversation, it is a privilege to get to speak to the aforementioned former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. He served as Prime Minister of Australia from 2015 to 2018. Thank you so much for being with us. Your comments were heard around the world. I woke up to them on Morning Joe, and I've seen them everywhere.
Well, look, I think it's a very important point to make. The Trump fascination with Putin is a very creepy one, and it was palpable. I mean, people who have been with Trump and Putin, and indeed people who saw him with Putin at that Helsinki conference, will see the same thing. He has a fascination with Putin. He's in awe of Putin, probably admires him, probably wishes he could be as omnipotent in America as Putin is in Russia. But it's very disconcerting when you see the leader of the free world being so interested in tyrants. And of course, it's not just Putin. I mean, look at his bromance with Kim Jong-un. How improbable was that? You know, effectively exchanging what I think he described as love letters.
I think it is alleged to be among the classified things he took with him to Mar-a-Lago to hang on to them. And I understand he has framed pictures of himself with Kim Jong-un, which is, it's so bizarre, it sometimes falls off the radar of the things we talk about, but it should be top of mind. I want to ask you what the conversation was among world leaders when you saw Trump fawn over Putin and Kim Jong-un.
It's politics, guys. It's politics, and
G20.
Now I want to say thank you to all my friends. Thank you to everybody. I really want to thank you guys, and I hope you guys go and subscribe and share. Guys, please do it, guys. A lot of you guys watch the video. YouTube told me 91% people doesn't subscribe to my channel. Why, guys? If you want to give me a full support, please subscribe, share, and like. YouTube keeps sending me like monthly, whatever you call that, monthly activity in your channel. They told me pretty much 91% of the people that subscribe my channel, only 9% subscribe. Guys, please give it a support, share, and like and subscribe. I bring you the whole world news. Take my time and doing it. Please show me that you appreciate it, guys. And I wait. Share, like, and subscribe. Share, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody. May God bless the world. May God bless everybody. Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao. Hasta la vista, everybody.